council approval.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily
Yes.
know that this IGA that you're talking about now, which would implement this provision for first right of refusal, will necessarily be one of those IGAs that will require prior council approval. So the fact that you may want to see, or you may want some kind of a side agreement between the city and the University of Hawaii to implement what this first right of refusal means might only be an agreement between the parties of how you construe that language. It wouldn't necessarily be one of the kinds of IGAs that ROH requires prior council approval. So you may never see that. And I want to just clarify that, because if you're going to be acting on the premise that sometime later you're going to see an IGA that you're going to get a right of approval and disapproval for, that might not be the case.
Okay, so the minimum requirements for the council to approve a IGA include
Funds, preparation by the agency of a report, provisions for professional services, provisions for technical services.
So even if we add this language in, that doesn't require, it doesn't meet, as you're saying, the minimum requirements for an IGA.
For council approval, IGA in the general sense that it's an agreement between the city and another governmental agreement agency, maybe so, but not necessarily one that would require prior council approval. So I just wanted to clarify that for the council's benefit.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions for the Deputy Corporation Counsel, Councilmember Kobayashi?
Thank you. So is it all right to keep, is it legal to keep in that sentence, UHM shall give first refusal right in the PRU, which is a land use document? Can we have that sentence put back in?
Well, I think that what the director was explaining to the council is that whatever that clause is in this land use document, it's going to have to be construed as a term of the land use review of DPP. So if DPP is saying, or the council decides that the provision says you have to have a right of first approval, I don't know. I think DPP might be looking at it in the context of, is there no other facility available? So in addition to the University of Hawaii providing adequate protection for the community in terms of parking, traffic, et cetera, because it's such a large event, has the university tried to find another facility?
Right.
And if there's no other facility available, that might be one of the factors that DPP would consider in determining, whether this is a provision that should go, an event that should go first, go on at the University of Hawaii. But I think that in a land use document, the DPP would have to be interpreting the clause in that way. Not,
Well, which gives greater assurance, having it in the PRU or having a separate IGA which the council may not have to approve?
well, in listening to what the hand-carried FD1 is proposing to do, seems to me to be putting into words how DPP would have interpreted that clause to try to implement it with the first right refusal. That is to say that DPP would be looking to see if that event or the mitigation factors for that event had adequately protect the community. That would be why that clause is in the PRU to begin with.
But they should also look at the impact of holding it at Sam's sheriff rather than at the other NDCs shall.
I don't know how they would evaluate that, but that would be that could be one of the factors that they would look at.
Right.
I don't know how should
Should
you
you
evaluate
spell
that?
it out and leave that sentence in? The first right of the first refusal right.
Well, I think that what they're trying to do by that hand-carrying FD1 is trying to put it in land use terms. The analysis
They
that
took out that sentence, that phrase, so, I'm asking is if it's better to keep it in, would it have more effect than an IGA that may not be approved, have to be approved by the council?
Well, I guess I would have concerns that begins to look like a non-competition clause, which doesn't really belong in a land use document.
I I see.
And I can understand why the council initially said no commercial activities, right? Because it was a UH facility, and I guess at the time there were, identifiable impacts in the community. We had a huge
And
event.
on NBC.
So, but I don't know how much of that could have been a factor to be considered
I see.
in a DPP permit.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Councilmember Kuchona? I'm sorry, can you defer to Councilmember Boyd? He hasn't had this opportunity to ask Deputy Corporation Counsel yet. Who are you representing here?
I am representing council. My initial comment dealt with what I perceived, well, I wanted clarification on what an IGA was, on the council plan.
So were you involved in coming up with the language on the
No.
proposal? Going back to the purpose or the reason why the no commercial provision was in there in the first place. I mean, I don't know how you can argue that was a land use issue to start with. Because how is a commercial packed arena impacts to the community different than a sporting event packed arena? Is there any difference from a land use standpoint between those two?
No, but I can see that the UH would argue that they needed it for performing its UH duties,
To perform what?
carrying out their UH functions. A sports arena for UH activities, and I see in the document that there are, different categories of events that would happen there. Are they, UH events, or are they UH sponsored events? And then you have this last clause of commercial events. So I think from the DPP perspective, they were treating these kinds of events in different ways.
But again, from a land use perspective, which is what we're apparently talking about right now, how is a commercial sold-out arena different than a basketball game sold-out arena? From a land use standpoint, how is there a difference?
Impacts in the communities, et cetera, I don't see a difference. I agree
So,
with you.
which goes back to the most likely reason, as I understand it, the actual reason was for having no commercial provision in there was an anti-compete with NBC and to ensure that the city could maintain the revenue stream that they were getting from commercial events. They didn't go to this new arena that the state was being allowed to build.
That, I can't say, apparently this happened in the original TRU some time ago, and I can't say that, but I don't know the extent to which that would have been legally supportable if that was really what was intended.
That wouldn't be, you're saying that would be illegal to have in the PRU?
If the intention was a no competition clause.
So let's say that was the intent, you're saying that it's illegal to have that in the PRU?
As a land use analysis,
Well, no, just as a document. Is
well,
it
but
illegal?
this is a land use.
It is, so as the document, as a PRU document, it's illegal to have that non-compete provision in the PRU
I would have questions about the legality of a clause like that.
because a PRU can only deal with land use impacts
Yes, that's my understanding.
under the charter.
No, I think there's under case law, the kinds of permits that the planning agency is authorized to issue. This would be considered a discretionary permit.
Right.
And
So I mean,
this-
so my view is.
They
we have
can do
discretion.
anything they want.
Whatever you want, but you have the discretion.
You don't have to defer to the DPP
Okay, so
attorney for
okay.
that, but I
And
would,
let's
again,
move on.
caution the city council when venturing into those areas.
With the language that's proposed in this FD, we got into this discussion of the department, DPP could look at other locations that this event could be held. I assume that to ultimately say to the University Way, we can't have that event at the San Sheriff's Center.
The
You say that's a
language
valid,
of the language of the first right of refusal?
the language that is proposed in this FD, which takes out the first refusal language, and just adds this language of DPP to ensure any anticipated impacts of community resulting events shall be identified and properly mitigated. If I heard what your response to the previous question was that DPP could consider what other facilities this event could go to justify